would literally rather saw off my own foot than support Israel.
Just makes me realize how much we have lost what it means to be a real man in society. The fact that I am a woman, okay, and I am the person that is saying this.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents.
Damn, Tate brothers.
So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us, to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real.
Hey, yo. It's your boy Jared. What we got today, man? We got Candace Owens' life is in serious danger after this. Oh, no. Candace, what have you gotten yourself into now? I just be following up on Candace for no reason. It's not like, at this point, I'm just invested. I would like to see how shit ends up for her, because the whole world kind of turning against her because of this whole Charlie Kirk situation that she keeps talking about, when in fact every other person has been capitalizing off of the death of Charlie Kirk. I would really like to see what's going on with her, man. I hope this isn't serious. I hope this is just like clickbait. Her life is in serious danger. I mean, well, considering the type of kind of people she's calling out and stuff, man, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. But all right, without further ado, let's just get straight into it.
Okay, the fact that I am a woman, okay, and I am the person that is saying this, okay, the fact that there are so many conservative commentators who pretend that they're so brave.
By the time 2017 came, Candace Owens was blowing up on YouTube. She then joined Turning Point USA and later founded Blexit, or co-founded Blexit, and she was there until May 2019. She worked as a communications director. Then, by the time 2020 came in November, she signed on with the Daily Wire and launched her own show, Candace, in March 2021. She and the Daily Wire parted ways on March 22nd, 2024. But right before then, in late 2023, the situation with the Daily Wire and Candace Owens became worse because Candace Owens started to basically question some of the policies of Israel, especially revolving around Zionism. And for most people, that's a no-go. Speaking about Israel or dissing Israel or criticizing Israel can be career-ending. I mean, we saw it with Nick Cannon. He basically had to beg on his hands and knees to get accepted back into the fold again. This isn't the case with Candace Owens. After she was fired from the Daily Wire, Candace Owens did something that nobody ever thought she would do. Candace Owens became even larger than life in the conservative movement. Why? Well, because there's a growing hostility towards Israel, and she did not hold back ever again.
Just makes me realize how much we have lost what it means to be a real man in society. The fact that I am a woman, okay, and I am the person that is saying this, okay? The fact that there are so many conservative commentators who pretend that they're so brave because they're talking about like what happened in the latest Trump thing, blah, blah, and then on the topic of their mom, okay? I should not be the only one calling out how many times Zionists defend and criminals. This is not normal, okay?
Okay, I think I know what she
does
said.
Israel allow from America to flee
PDFs
and receive
PDF
protection
files
from their state? Why are we, the country that's funding their bullshit, okay, not allowed to extradite our files? Okay, does anybody have an answer? I don't know, show your hands. Anybody like, oh no, that's totally normal. It makes total sense. Like, Candace, even asking the question is anti-Semitic. Like, no, guys, there's like a problem here that we can't get our files back from a nation that we've given billions of dollars to. That doesn't make sense. Why would you want, as a small nation that is the size of New Jersey, okay, why would you want to flee there?
Now, again, we had to bleep out the word, starts with a P, ends with O. But basically what she's accusing Israel of is some of their people are messing with people who are underage. And when they get in trouble in America, they can go to Israel and stay there and not be brought back. But how is it that
really? Is that
the
something
United
that's happening
States
for
can
her?
give money to Israel, but, you know, at the same time get protected for people who abuse things in America, most notably individuals under the age of 18?
Damn!
But then she would even go more on a rampage.
Aren't you supporting Israel? I would literally rather saw off my own foot than support Israel ever again, by the way. Never supporting that nation ever again.
She specifically calls out
Oh,
Israel.
she's brave, that's for sure. She's brave because, yeah, typically when just off of things we've seen so far in the past couple of years, this isn't to say, oh, you should be afraid of them or whatever, blah, blah. They're above criticism. Nobody's above criticism. I don't give a fuck who you are. Nobody's above criticism. But the way these guys typically go about it seems to be more rash. I don't know. It seems like they actually do have a lot of power in certain spaces, and they end up, you know, getting you out of there if you're talking crazy about them and shit. And that seems to be what the case is now, because it's so wild how the world has just turned completely around against Candace. Like, with all the controversial stuff Candace has said, oh, so many controversial things. And there were so many people that were backing her. But the moment she was talking against these one group of people, that's when everything kind of flipped. She lost her job in the Daily Wire, and everyone came pouncing on her and stuff. So, yeah, it seems like it's quite taboo somehow. It's somehow been set up this way, which is interesting, but I'm not the one to go deep into it. I see, I observe, and I just close it by. But I'll say it anywhere though. I'm anti-war regardless, bro. This war should stop. I don't like the killing of all these innocent people that have nothing to do with this beef, dispute, this conflict. Anti-war everywhere. So please stop it.
Calling it the opposite of being Christian. She's not holding back at all. Again, you never hear people talk like this, and she even said it herself, at least not mainstream. You'll hear Nick Fuentes talk about it, maybe Alex Jones sometimes, but for people to call out Israel like this is unheard of. And she continues.
You are pretending that people are not starving in Gaza. You are outright mocking at points, Zionists like Randy Fine in Congress, images of children that are starving, saying that they deserve that. And you can only behave like a sadistic, psychopathic, murderous individual for so long before the world takes notice.
Basically, Candace Owens has joined in with a lot of people on the right who feel that there is a level of ethnic cleansing going on in the Palestine war. Now, I'm not a geopolitician. I don't really know what's going on there, but this is something that she's accusing them of doing, and a lot of other people are accusing them of doing the same thing. Ben Shapiro of the Daily Wire, Candace Owens' last boss, actually said this before.
Ben Shapiro, in the year 2000, I think, wrote an article about ethnic cleansing. It said transfer is not a dirty word. And he's arguing for literal ethnic cleansing. Now, I have never argued anything close to that. I've never made the argument that we should ethnically cleanse blacks from the United States. But if I did, I'd be hanged by that forever.
Yeah.
Is Shapiro. Why and why not? He is not reminded of that every time he goes around, not because he apologized for it 20 years later, but because he has all the correct opinions.
Now, Nick Fuentes is a outright racist, okay? We're going to be honest. He doesn't,
Of course, yes.
like blacks. He's indifferent, but yeah, the way he talks doesn't like blacks. He said, hey, if I were the one to call for the ethnic cleansing of blacks, I would have to still answer for it to this day, and I don't. But Ben Shapiro, who apologized about this later, can still have everything going his way without there being an issue. Basically because, he's protected. And now this is the issue with the whole situation with Charlie Kirk, right? Fast forward. Let's get back to Charlie Kirk, because Candace Owens has been putting out a lot of information about some controversies or conspiracies revolving his death. Now, if we know anything about Charlie Kirk, he was a big advocate for Israel, and probably one of the strongest that they had in America as far as social media. And Turning Point USA basically was a funnel to getting young support for Israel. I mean, after all, this is how Charlie Kirk got Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum into the system. And even young conservatives, when they go through Turning Point, experience this.
Charlie Kirk was one of Israel's greatest assets, one of their last remaining assets as a political commentator. And him deciding to turn against the state of Israel, to leave Zion, would have dealt a massive blow. Because young conservatives, through Turning Point USA, are indoctrinated into supporting Israel. When you join a chapter, they give you a box full of a bunch of like merch and stickers that say, "I stand with Israel." And his biggest donors are Israel.
So I didn't know this, right? But if you go through Turning Point USA, you get certain materials basically telling you that you need to support Israel. And now let's look at Candace Owens, right? Because, you know, a lot of people are afraid for her safety because of what she is saying to Israel and what she's saying about Israel and Zionists. Now, if you listen to her content about Charlie Kirk, she claims that she's not saying that, you know, the Israel had anything to do with the murder of Charlie Kirk. And in fact, I never hear anything about Tyler Robinson anymore, the guy who allegedly shot Charlie Kirk. But instead, you hear her saying that things don't, you know, make sense. And now people are blaming Israel for the murder of Charlie Kirk, all right? Even though you have a person that's in jail.
That's what she's doing, right? She's blaming Israel. I mean, it's conspiracy theories, it seems. I can't really put an opinion on it. I just, from what the other dude just said, it seems like Israel has been endorsing Charlie Kirk. So why would Israel turn their back and get rid of him? Unless he stops supporting them or something. That's interesting. And I'm not gonna like put it past them that, like, you know, they might have tried to put this boy up to it, but I don't know. It still might be a stretch, bro. Like, they just find some random kids in the school and was like, "Yo, we'll pay your family. We'll pay your family this much money if you do this shit or something, or we'll pay you." But it's so stupid because, like, you're gonna get caught. You have to have known you will get caught. Like, so what could they have provided? Or unless maybe they threatened you. Now I'm just thinking, like, based off of movies I've watched this shit. Or unless maybe they threatened you or something. I don't see why you would have just taken that stance. In all honesty, it really just looks like a kid who was fed up with all the shit Charlie Kirk was saying and decided to take matters into his own hands. But that's what it looks like, though. Looks are deceiving.
But here is what's interesting about what people speculate about those who disrespect Israel.
And we know that Israel has no qualms when it comes to torturing Americans like they're torturing Greta Thunberg right now. Or I guess she was released, but they tortured her alongside, there's still like 18 Americans still in the Israeli torture prison right now. And citizens from 44 countries all over the world are still being tortured because they were trying to bring aid by boat to the coast of Gaza and help alleviate some of the starvation that is doing to the Palestinian people, starving them to death as they cleanse them.
Now, this creator is saying that we have, as Americans, people that are over in Israel right now, and, you know, they were trying to feed the people in Palestine, and they are being tortured for that. So the idea is, by disrespecting Israel, there's a price to pay, right? And this is what people are saying. So Candace Owens goes onto her podcast, and she says this.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents.
Damn, Tate brothers.
So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real. Okay. Whoa. I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, you know, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes.
Wow.
So this is actually very
This is
interesting,
real.
okay?
She's you can tell she's like, she knows something's coming. She knows she's been getting threats, clearly. Whoa. That's why you stay out of politics, man. I'm scared reacting to this shit, bro. Nigga, I'm not about this life. I'm not. I'm just like, I'm very interested to see what Candace is saying and stuff, but like, damn, this gets iffy. I understand the message is very important to spread because we're trying to raise awareness. I let people know what's actually going on underneath their noses. At the risk of your own life, for real. She's brave. That's really the best thing I can say. She's brave for this. She's brave for this. A lot of people would not take that stand. Would not fight the way she's fighting right now. So kudos to her, man. I really do hope for the best for her, though. This is dangerous territory.
Let's go over this particular tweet that was sent out. Expanding the network. Tate Brothers, Dave Smith, Max Blumenthal, Tucker Carlson, Mel, and more will have legal files and personal text messages related to my time at Turning Point, PragerU, and Daily Wire, plus my private conversations with people like Seth Dillon and Dave Rubin. These people have my explicit permission to release everything publicly if anything happens to me. Charlie's death and the audacity of the people like Josh Hammer eulogizing him means we must all share information and let the truth rise up like a lion.
Woo!
Now, what I'm going to say is going to be controversial. So I'm going to say it. Fast forward! Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, and you other black conservatives. You guys are in a pay grade that you just don't understand. The reason why you got popular in this movement is because you're supposed to be black conservatives. But the reality is you're not. And so now you guys are out here in an ocean that you can't swim in. And so now you're out here acting like you're fighting for your life. You're afraid. And I get that talking about certain nations and powerful people could be scary.
I'm trying to understand what you meant by you're supposed to be black conservatives. What meaning has that? Like, other than the fact that they're literal black conservatives, what meaning does he attach to the saying black conservative? In the sense that like they're supposed to be fighting for black people. If that's what the case, okay, yeah, I hear that. It just seems like they've gone. That's the thing, yeah, is that they've gone beyond the scope. I don't know about Officer Tatum much. I think I need to watch more videos on him. I don't really know much about it. I think he's just been on that same timing of like black fatigue and black people ready to do better. Like, shut the fuck up. But I think I'm not sure if I'm understanding O'Shea, but I think what O'Shea is saying is you are supposed to go in there and just focus on the ethnic matters, the fact that the racism problem or the looking down on black people problem, and you guys went above and beyond trying to do more, getting into the Israel things, and now you are, I think he's trying to say essentially they are in over their head. I didn't know Officer Tatum was going deep into that rabbit hole too.
But see, as black people, if we were to worry about what we're worrying about, that would not be the issue. See, a true black conservative would only be focused on how he could empower or she could empower the community. This is why Brandon Tatum is probably stressed the hell out right now. He says that he's not, but within his own movement, within the conservatives, he's not being respected because a growing side of people are with Candace Owens. Now she is acting as if something may happen to her because of what she's saying about a foreign nation. But if she would have just focused in on the community that she's from, or you want to help, you wouldn't be worried about this. And this is the problem that black people gotta have. Staying in other people's business when that doesn't concern you. If you would have came in to do your job and just handle the black sector, then you would not be facing this. Number one, you'd be more powerful. You'd be able to change the conditions in your community. You'd be able to empower things. you would have your own money to do so. But when you're a
But I
black,
guess that's what happens when you go off of this whole mindset of black people don't have a problem. Black people don't have a problem in America. It's like there's no black problem. We are the people. We are holding ourselves back. Nobody else is holding you back and stuff. I guess that's what happens when you go deep into that mind frame. You kind of just completely pretend like there isn't really much of a racism problem. And like again, I even lean more towards the fact that like I acknowledge that there is a problem, that there is racism does exist, but I'm more so on the timing of still don't let that try to stop you from achieving the things you want to achieve. Don't use that, don't let that be an excuse for you to not achieve the things you want to do. Of course, you're in a less privileged position and you have less ammunition to work with, but people have done it. People have done it. It's gonna be fucking tough. It's gonna be hard, but it is doable. So I'm like, I've never been a victim mindset type of person, but of course you still have to acknowledge the bullshit and the shitty hand that has been dealt to you by America. You know, it's one of those. It's an unfortunate thing. It's an unfortunate thing, but my message will always be the same. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that hold you back. Don't let the bullshit, don't let them have that over you. Don't let them have that power over you in the sense that like you allowed your bullshit, you allowed the bullshit they did to you to dictate your future. Don't give them that power, bro. Because you are giving them power in a sense if you're using that to stop yourself from achieving great things. So that's really more my message. But yeah, no, he's cooking though. If they really stayed out of it, they really stayed out of all of that, they would have been so much better. They would have been doing fine, just fighting for the black community. But no, they decided, oh, y'all niggas don't even got a problem. I'm not gonna focus on you. Let's go deal with what the white folk are dealing with. Let's go deal with what these real niggas are dealing with. Like, and then you jump into another sector trying to fight a battle they don't want you in. You know how they handle things. You know is execute first, talk later. Like, you know how they handle this. Typically, that's what happens when you become overzealous. Doesn't play out too well. Again, though, I really do hope for the best for Candace. I don't want her to go because of this.
Conservative only to crap on blacks, and then you're taking money from other people to crap on the community you say you're from. Now you're getting yourself into deep waters you can't swim in, and it just exposes you altogether. Now again, you may love Candace Owens for standing up for the truth, but that was not initially her fight, all right? It's not. I really don't think it is. Anybody who's a black conservative and you got on talking about you want to help the black community, geopolitics is just not your fight, because this is not what's empowering the black community. Now, it may be true that Candace Owens is able to say these things because she is a woman and she is black, so it's difficult for somebody to bring her down. But the reality is, this is not what you got on doing. So in my honest opinion, all you guys who are on here focusing on Charlie Kirk and focusing on geopolitical issues, it just shows that you are not really down with the community in the first place. And now you're in dangerous waters, like, you know, lawsuits with France and Macron's wife. This is just stuff that's silly. Why couldn't you just focus on what you said you're going to focus on? But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Jackson back at it again.
Damn, that boy O'Shea really, he said everything.
That you do.
Kept it a buck. Can't even rebuttal or do anything about that. He cooked right there. But yeah, no, I think I've said everything I needed to say on the matter. Hope for the best. Candace, she looks like she's putting herself in a lot of trouble right now. She's not in over her head because she knows exactly what she's doing. She knew what this would take or what this occurred. She's willing to put everything on the line, it seems like. So hope for the best. Wish her with nothing but the best. Wish her well. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, man. Ayo Gerald out.